When it's all said and done, I think what it comes down to most in the video game industry, whether you're console warring or not, is the actual video games themselves. And I kind of made that point because it was very interesting the other day on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. There was a post from IGN who said it was something snarky about how Xbox had finally. I'll tell you exactly what it said. It said Xbox finally has some first party games coming this year, and it surprisingly looks more promising than the PS5's 2024 offerings. So, what's interesting is that got community noted. I had a pretty engaged tweet underneath that said Xbox put out more first party content than Sony last year as well as 2021, which is factually accurate if you want to talk about first party. But then people are like, they get real smarmy about it and go, oh, well, who cares? They're still in last place or this or that, the other thing. Listen, as a gamer, last place, first place, what's it matter? If you got nothing to play, would I rather be in last place with tons of games to play? Or would I rather be in first place with nothing from the first party? I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? People really get tied up into this stuff. So for me personally, it's really all about the games. Now, I'm never one that really kind of likes the whole remastered thing or whatever. That's not really my jam, unless it's something that's significantly old, right? If it's something that's like super old, it was, 25 years old or whatever, 20 years old, then yeah, let's update it and make it as modern as possible. If it's something within the last 5-10 years, then I probably think it's better just to be left alone. Now, this could be a little bit different, and before everybody starts going, oh, you're being a hypocrite, I think multiplayer-wise is why this would be different. So this is something that has started to come up. Take it with a grain of salt, though. There's a lot of rumors right now that the Coalition is internally testing a Gears of War remastered collection in Unreal Engine 5. For a while now, Gears of War fans have been eagerly awaiting news for a highly anticipated Gears collection. This much rumored, reportedly in developed collection of a classic Gears of War games, the 3 of them, recreated in Unreal Engine 5, has been the talk of the gaming community. And now the excitement has reached new heights, as it's been claimed that there's a Gears collection being internally tested right now by none other than the Coalition, the studio responsible for creating Gears of War games since the releases of the Ultimate Edition in 2015. So the Gears collection has been compared to the successful Master Chief collection in Halo, which brought together all the classic games and remastered them for modern platforms. Similarly, the Gears collection aims to recreate the entire Gears of War series in a remastered, potentially rebuilt format. While there isn't really much information to go on right now, it's been something that's been talked about for a little bit now. It's suspected it could include recreations of the Ultimate Edition Gears 2, 3, 4, and Judgment, although they can just keep 4 and shove it up their rears because that game ain't it. Anyway, there's some new circulation and rumors that are kind of on X. News of the Gears collection being internally tested by the Coalition surfaced. There's obviously Idle Sloth, who captures a lot of this stuff. He's kind of a capture-all, goes in there and does a little bit of stealth reporting and things like that. Shared a clip from a podcast where the exciting revolution was made. The podcast episode also brought forth claims that 343 Industries, the studio behind the Halo series, has had a hand in working on the highly anticipated Indiana Jones game. These announcements have generated a lot of buzz in the gaming community, sparking some discussions and speculation about the Gears of War franchise. Amidst the excitement surrounding the Gears collection, the podcast also revealed that the Coalition is working on an all-new IP separate from the Gears of War franchise, and it indicates that the studio is exploring new horizons and expanding its creative endeavors beyond the iconic Gears of War series. While details about the new IP is scarce, it undoubtedly adds another level of anticipation for people that are kind of wanting to see what these guys do, because they do some really good work. Listen, even though I'm not a huge fan of Gears 6 or, Gears 5 or whatever, Gears 4, I still think they do a good job with the Unreal Engine, and them doing something in Unreal Engine 5 that's new is highly, something that a lot of people really want to see. Same thing with like remasters of or remakes of the older Gears trilogy. I think with full multiplayer would be good, because that's the multiplayer that I miss. If you want to know what happened, like with Gears 4 and 5, and particularly 5, the multiplayer was more centered and geared towards like esports and things like that, which really isn't what I'm into. Like, I couldn't care less about esports. So, it was kind of unfortunate that as a fan of this stuff, I just really didn't enjoy what was happening there. So, now that we see that there could potentially be, the older type of multiplayer brought back, I think that could bring a lot of people back. And I think, people would be very excited to see kind of how these things kind of worked out or whatever. I've been very upfront about it. The first 3 Gears games are some of my favorite games. I have a Gears Crimson Element tattoo. I've had it for a long time. By the way, since before Gears 5 and 4 launched, by the way. So, because it was after the first 3, those are the ones that, I enjoy the most. And, like for what it is, I thought 4 was okay. They kind of painted themselves in a corner. I thought even with 4 that the characters were not living up to the expectations of the original. I thought they maybe tried to get a little bit too politically correct. And kind of just lost what they were and who they were, in my opinion. So, hopefully they can fix that, right the wrongs, all that kind of good stuff. But, again, it's like really up to you guys what you guys think is important. Like for me, like I've said numerous times, I really feel like when it comes to video games, it really just matters about the games. We could sit there and argue and cry and whine and say whatever we want to say about this or that, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to the games themselves. So I feel like that's something that we probably lose perspective on quite a bit. So I would love to see Gears. Yes, does it make me seem like a hypocrite? Probably. People are going to say it either way, but for me personally, I just think that it's something that the first Gears came out in 2006, almost 20 years ago. So being able to go back and play those original multiplayer games, maps and stuff like that with a fresh coat of paint, I think would be cool. Completely different than, say, a game that came out like 3-4 years ago. And listen, even though like I don't think that it should have been put up for awards, but like the Resident Evil 4 thing or 2 thing and one thing or whatever, the different Resident Evils, those games look horrible, and they're PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn games. Yes, by all means, feel free to remake those, even I guess 4, it's fine. Like remake them, do what you got to do because it helps preserve them. But at the same time, I don't think the games that have been remade should be up for like a bunch of awards unless it's its own category, because we get so many of them every year now. So for me personally, that's how I kind of separate it. I wouldn't want something that's already had its time to shine stealing the spotlight from the new the new thing that's coming out, because I feel like we get stuck in the past a little bit too often. And I know that sounds contradictory because I want to play Gears multiplayer, but again, listen, that multiplayer was fire for a reason. It was really, really good, and we don't have anything like that currently. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Rack 'em up. I'm Crab Gamer. This is Crab Gamer Reviews. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Rack 'em up. Crab Gamer out.